Was quitting my job at my all-time dream studio the dumbest decision I could have made in my career? It is now 4 months after I've left the Atlanta studio, and that is exactly what I want to talk to you about in today's video. I want to do a new series, well actually an existing series already, because I've done the road trip to Spain. If you haven't seen that, check it out. But basically I want to go in my car, drive around and talk about audio. I've got a couple of errands to run, a couple of things to fix on the car, and of course I have to walk Juno in the back over here. So let's go and hit the road, and then I'll talk to you about if it was a good decision to leave the Atlanta studio. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the previous videos. I got my dream job about 8 years ago at Red Bull at my dream studio. The thing I always dreamt of, and I gave that up 4 months ago to do my own thing completely, to focus on my own mixing work, production work, and of course all of the content that I'm making right now. And the big question is, was that a good or a very dumb decision? I've gotten a lot of questions over the past 4 months what it is I actually do right now, as I'm not working at the studio anymore. And it is exactly those things I just mentioned. It is mixing, it is doing production work, it is also a bit of content. And yes, I've taken a little bit of a sabbatical from recording sessions because I just didn't want to be in studios anymore. But lately I've been feeling the itch again of getting back into the studio and being part of the creation process and actually be the recording engineer again. So for a couple of months I was completely happy with just doing everything in my home studio. And well, if you're following the channel, you know that it is not really a home studio anymore. It's very much a pro studio inside of a living room, so I can do whatever I need to do. I've got all the gear there, I've got really great monitoring, and as I also said in the previous videos, I just mix better from my home studio because that's my spot and I've got that set up exactly how I want it, and I just know exactly how that translates. So for the past year or so I was already not mixing at the Atlanta studio. It was just the recording stuff and the sessions that I did over there and that I needed a studio for. So now I am getting back into the recording side of things and my production side of things. I might need a studio again. So I've been searching for the right studio or studios for that job. You know, wanna go for a run? But you know, usually doesn't listen to me when I tell him to come to me. But if I have a banana, you know. Right, we're gonna get some screwdrivers so I can unscrew the lights. Then hopefully I can replace them, because last time I tried it at Mark's workshop, but I failed. So, well, we'll see if it works now. Okay, stop number 2. Gonna get a screwdriver. 25 and a 30. That's what I need. Maybe this is a better option. And let's see if I can fix my lights myself this time, or if I'm going to fail again. I'm too stubborn. I don't want to go to the mechanic to get it fixed. I want to be able to do it myself, because I've got a dream that someday next year, if I work hard enough, I can treat myself to a Porsche 911, an old one from 2000s. But yeah, I need to be able to fix some stuff on it then. So I might as well start now with the Polo. I just need to find with the air thing for the toys. I'm seeing wash boxes. We need that later because this car needs a wash. But where's the air? The air dispenser. So after I left the Atlantis studio, the big question I now had to answer was if I actually needed a studio of that caliber with a live room and a control room and all the acoustics and all the gear and all the mics and everything. So that is what I tried to figure out in the past couple of months, and I've come to the conclusion that in this day and age of home recording scarlets and untreated rooms, it just makes your life a whole lot easier, and you cannot do everything in your living room. Yes, you can mix there. Yes, you can produce there. Yes, you can do some recording. I could do vocals there. I could do acoustic guitar there and some synth stuff. But if it comes to drums and strings and electric guitars, all that stuff that goes really loud and that activates the room acoustics, you just need a room that is isolated from the outside world, that has the right room acoustics to make that instrument sound even better and to improve that recording. So I set out to find a new studio that would fit my new workflow best, because when it comes to recording, to work at the level that I am used to be working and that my clients are used from me in terms of quality, I need a high-end professional studio. So I went on a search for exactly that. Let's go through the car wash first. It's a party, you know. Party. Big roll. All right. Car. Let's see if we can pump up some tires. As you know from my channel, I've done a couple of studio tours already. I've done Next Movement Studios with the SSL. I've done Mark 1 shop tour and studio tour. I've done Tripool Studios. And I want to do many more in my search of the perfect studio. Because deep inside, there's still this kid with the dream to have a dream studio. But this time it has to be my own studio. It has to be my stuff. I want to build it. I want to take you with me on that build, and I want to make it perfect for me and my workflow and my clients and what I need to do. So that is what I will be doing over the next couple of years, finding the perfect studio and figuring out why some studios do work, why other studios do not work, what business model works best for a studio, and what makes sense. What do you invest in? What do you not invest in? Are you going to just focus on production and vocal recording? Are you going to focus on full band recording? Are you going to incorporate tape? Are you going to do scoring sessions, as we've seen the Neve 88 RS build? There are still studios being built at that size and for orchestral scoring and everything. So exactly what type of studio this is going to be, I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to figure that out, and I'm going to take you with me on that figuring out journey, and you'll be there every step of the way. The home studio setup is perfect as it is for what I need to do in terms of mixing and producing and all of that stuff. But to be honest, there are some limitations to that setup, because whenever there is an artist coming over in the studio, they always wanted to have the speakers really loud and really feel that music. Obviously, I cannot really do that to the same extent in my own living room studio, because then I would be very much pissing off my neighbors, and I kind of want to keep living there and be friends with. So that is reason number one. I like to go to an actual professional studio that is not my living room. And also, I love everybody that I work with, but I don't really like inviting people over to my house. I really like going somewhere, inviting everybody to a studio, then having a great time, and then being able to say, yo, I'm going home at this time. You can continue to work, that's fine. you can do that. Ooh, they crashed. Well, I might do the same if I don't stop being stupid. And then the third reason is that I am very much used to working with a control room and a live room situation and a large format console. And that is something I would just feel more comfortable with in a recording situation, because I know when I've got a large format console that all of the channels are already giving me the sound I need, and I can get the workflow that I am familiar with, so we can be up and running with the session and have a great sound very, very early on in the session. And that just makes it easier for everybody. Now you can do exactly the same in the box. No, you can't do exactly the same in the box, I'm lying. You can get similar results in the box, but in a recording session, the tactileness of having all of your options and all of the knobs, all of the auxes, EQs, dynamics, faders, everything right there all of the time, that is something I cannot replicate in the box, and I cannot be as quick in the box as I am on a large format console when it comes to recording sessions. Now, mixing is an entirely different story. I won't even mix on a large format console because I hate that. I love it, but I hate the recall. Let me say it that way. But for recording full bands and big sessions with 32 plus inputs, I really need a large format analog console. So today we're not doing a trip through the mountains, we're doing a trip down the canals of Amsterdam. One of my biggest passions besides music is cars, and I just love driving around. I've got a shitty Polo, sorry, don't break it down on me even more, but I love you. At some point I would love to trade this in for my dream car. Setting the goal for myself that I'm doing that next year in 2025. If you are working this hard, and I mean I'm doing 70 or 80 hour weeks, if you're working that hard, you need to reward yourself sometimes and have a dream that you can fulfill once you've worked so hard that you can actually make that dream come true. Because otherwise, if you don't have the dream of having a studio or certain gear, or in my case having a Porsche 911, then what are you working for? That makes me work even harder. That makes me think about everything I'm buying. Even just now when I bought this screwdriver, it was 40 euros. I could have also just bought two of them for 15 euros. I go like, the extra 25 could go to a Porsche 911. Now, it's a very tiny fraction of a Porsche 911, but you start thinking about it that way. I need to be able to give myself something after working really hard to say like, I made it. Yes, I made it. And I felt that way with when I bought my Neve 1073s, when I bought my ATC SEM25s, when I bought a lot of other gear, because they were dream pieces of gear for me. But now I don't really have dream pieces of gear anymore. Nowadays, I make all my gear purchases from a business point of view rather than love for the gear point of view, if that makes sense. That means I might buy a piece of gear because it has a high probability of going up in price and actually me being able to sell it for more later on. Or I might buy a piece of gear because I know I need a certain chain for a certain type of client. So I might buy a C800G, and then I've got the 1073, and then I'll buy a CL1B. So I know I can go anywhere and have that super high-end chain. Now I'm not buying a C800G. I don't need it. I might buy a CL1B, but also with that purchase, I go like, yeah, is that going to make me more money so I can get to the Porsche dream goal? Or is that just going to be me spending money and not getting to that Porsche 911 when I want it? So my advice, I don't know if this is advice, but if I were you, I would get a goal that you would really love to work towards, and just focus that every expense you make, you think twice about, is this going to get me one step closer to the goal? And not only with expenses, also with the stuff that you do, the work that you take on, the people that you surround yourself with, everything. Think, is this going to get me to my end goal quicker, or is this just something I want to do and have fun with? And that's okay too. You have to have fun as well, but stay focused on the goal if you want to get to your goal. Front light 1 is working. This one is not working. And then we've got the rears. That was working. No, that's not working. So let's open up the trunk. Trunk? No, I don't have a Porsche yet. It's not a frunk yet. Okay, that's out. Okay, there it is. Someday. And I'm here fixing my shitty Polo. Fuck, I dropped that cap. There. I really hope I can get that back. Blue light in. Let's hope this works. Yes, got it. Doesn't really look broken though. Very curious if this is going to be the fix. Only one way to find out. Let's start this car. See. That's still working. And that's working. Okay, that was the front light. And look at my screwdriver. Yes, we are going to get this nerdy on here. Woo! Look at that, you've got all the bits you need. That's amazing, because then you can just go anywhere, especially in a studio session. If you have this and there's anything going on, you have everything right there where you need it. It's from Viha. It sounds very cheap, but it was $40. So and it feels like quality. So yeah, maybe it's cool. This is not sponsored, by the way. If there's anybody with a tool company and that wants to sponsor me, please do, because once I have a Porsche and I need to do my own maintenance because I went broke by buying the Porsche, I might need a lot of tools. Okay, I am going to drive home right now. The tail light is still out, but it is way too cold. And I think I'll fix it over there, but at least we've got 2 front lights again, so that's great. My dream to drive a Porsche one day goes together with my dream to do a road trip. If you've seen the previous videos of this series, you've seen me do a road trip with Juno in the back to Valencia in Spain. And when I got to Valencia, I was a bit bummed out that I didn't have an excuse anymore to get in the car and to drive somewhere. So it turned out I liked the trip, the road trip, more than the destination. So that is exactly what I want to be doing now as well. Once I get the Porsche, hopefully. If it doesn't work out and I don't get the money for the Porsche, that's also fine. I'll do it with this Polo because I love it. But this year I want to do a road trip through Europe, and I want to come visit all of you guys. So if you play an instrument, or you have a cool studio, or something else that I need to see and you feel the world needs to see, hit me up and I'll make sure I'll plan you into my route, and I'll come visit you and we'll shoot some content, make some music, have some fun. That's just what I want to do right now. I want to live life on my terms, do what I want to do what makes me happy, and just have a lot of fun while doing all of that. Also, if you want to support me in making these videos and making my dream come true and doing that road trip, there is a join button down below, and that takes you to the virtual internship. And over there you'll find an exclusive collection of mix breakdowns, recording walkthroughs, a lot of maintenance related stuff, and some very exclusive outtakes from spots I've visited, people I've talk to. On top of that, you will also join an exclusive WhatsApp group with all the other virtual interns, with my team, and of course with myself. So you can, whenever you have a question or something you're struggling with or whatever, you can just text and say, hey guys, I have this issue. Have you had this before? How do you deal with this? Or I am mixing this and I'm not getting my vocals to sit right. Does anybody have any tips? That is what that WhatsApp group is for, because I feel that is a crucial part in growing and learning and becoming a better engineer, producer, musician, whatever your end goal is. So go check that out. Hit that join button down below, and I'll see you in the studio. This is my nightmare. I think he bumped into that pole. Shit. Fuck, man. Imagine that happening to you. I hope he's okay. Okay, so apparently I'm missing a tool for the rear light. So that will be done next time, I guess. But I've fixed the front light, fixed the tires, I gave it a wash, and I filled it up with some gas, so I'm ready for the next trip. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know down below if I should do this more often. I like driving, I like talking about audio and music, so if I can combine both of those a little bit more and do more of a vlog style thing, let me know in the comments if you would like to see that. And also drop me a couple of subjects to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about them in my next I need a title for this series as well. Cars and audio instead of cars and coffee. Yeah, cars and music. Okay, well, think about it. If you know a good one, let me know down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Later. So this happened 2 days ago. I ran into a pole. I do think if I want a 911, I gotta learn how to drive. Right, Junes? He's like, yes, you need to learn how to drive.